The story of Cleopatra, the last queen of Egypt, is a tale woven from power, passion, and tragedy. Her death in 30 BCE, alongside her Roman lover Mark Antony, marked the end of an era. Ancient historians like Plutarch tell us they died together, their love story sealed in a final, dramatic act. They also tell us that the victorious Roman, Octavian, granted their last wish to be buried together in a magnificent tomb. But where is this final resting place? For over 2 millennia, the tomb's location has remained one of history's most tantalizing and elusive mysteries, a secret lost to the shifting sands of time. For centuries, the search for this legendary tomb was concentrated within the ancient city of Alexandria. This was Cleopatra's capital, the vibrant heart of her kingdom where she ruled and held court. It seemed logical that her mausoleum would be here, among the palaces and temples she once commanded. Yet, countless excavations have yielded nothing. The relentless forces of nature have also worked against us. Earthquakes have shaken the city's foundations, and rising sea levels have submerged entire sections of the ancient metropolis, locking its secrets beneath the waves of the Mediterranean and making the search seem almost hopeless. The enduring mystery has only fueled our fascination. The tomb of Cleopatra is more than just a burial site. It is a time capsule. It promises to hold the final chapter of a queen who defied an empire, a woman of immense intellect and charisma. Finding it would not only solve a great historical puzzle, but could also reveal priceless information about her reign, her relationship with Antony, and the very culture of Ptolemaic Egypt. The absence of her tomb has left a gaping hole in history, one that generations of archaeologists and treasure hunters have dreamed of filling, each hoping to be the one to uncover the truth. This lack of success in Alexandria has forced historians and archaeologists to think differently, to look beyond the obvious. What if Cleopatra, a brilliant strategist even in her final days, chose a location far from the prying eyes of her Roman conquerors? What if she wanted to protect her legacy and her remains in a place of deep spiritual significance, a place they would never think to look? This radical new line of questioning has shifted the focus of the search, leading a new generation of explorers away from the sunken ruins of Alexandria and towards a remote, wind-swept temple on the coast. A new theory, bold and compelling, has emerged from the dust of forgotten history. It points to a place called Taposiris Magna, a temple complex located about 30 miles west of Alexandria. This site, whose name means Great Tomb of Osiris, was a prominent center for the worship of the god Osiris and his consort, the goddess Isis. Cleopatra famously identified herself as the living embodiment of Isis, making this temple a place of immense personal and religious significance for her. Could this be where she chose to make her final stand, not in a battle, but for eternity? The logic behind this theory is powerful. By choosing Taposiris Magna, Cleopatra would have been placing her tomb under the protection of the gods she held most dear. It would have been a profoundly symbolic act, linking her death directly to the Egyptian myth of Isis, resurrecting her beloved Osiris. This sacred location, far from the political turmoil of Alexandria, would have offered a sanctuary, a place where her remains and those of Mark Antony could rest undisturbed by their Roman enemies. The theory suggests a burial that was not just a practical necessity, but a carefully orchestrated religious statement designed to secure her place in the afterlife. This promising hypothesis has ignited a new wave of exploration, focusing all attention on this single remarkable site. For years, archaeologists have combed through the ruins of the temple and its surrounding necropolis, searching for any clue that might validate this idea. The work has been slow, painstaking, and often frustrating, but the belief that Taposiris Magna holds the key has persisted, driven by a conviction that Cleopatra's final secret is not lost forever, but simply waiting in a place no one had thought to look before. This was a gamble, a departure from centuries of tradition, but one that was about to pay off. The shift in focus to Taposiris Magna represents a fundamental change in how we approach the search for Cleopatra's tomb. It moves away from the assumption that she would be buried in the political centre of her power and towards the idea that her spiritual beliefs would guide her final decision. This theory considers the mind of the queen herself, her cleverness, her devotion to Egyptian traditions, and her desire to create a lasting legacy that would outlive the Roman Empire. It is a theory that puts us closer to understanding the woman behind the legend, and as it turns out, closer to the tomb itself. The patient work at Taposiris Magna has recently yielded a series of breathtaking discoveries. The most significant of these is the unearthing of a vast 4,300-foot-long tunnel carved deep into the bedrock 43 feet below the temple. Described by experts as an engineering miracle, the sheer scale and precision of this tunnel are astonishing. Its purpose remains a subject of intense debate, but its existence suggests a hidden world beneath the public-facing temple. Many now believe this tunnel could be the very pathway that leads to the secret burial chambers of Cleopatra and Mark Antony, a secret route designed to protect them for eternity. As if the tunnel weren't enough, the team has also found evidence linking the site directly to the Queen. Thousands of artifacts have been recovered from the temple grounds, including over 1,500 objects from the Ptolemaic period. Among them are coins minted during her reign, bearing her face and name, providing a direct and undeniable connection. They have also unearthed beautiful alabaster heads, believed to depict Cleopatra herself, and statues of the goddess Isis, with whom she so closely identified. Each artifact is another thread, weaving a stronger and stronger connection between the Queen and this sacred site. The excavation of the necropolis surrounding the temple has revealed even more clues. Archaeologists have discovered several mummies from the Greco-Roman period, buried with great honor. Two of these mummies were found covered in gold leaf, a luxury reserved for individuals of the highest status. While these are not the royal couple, their presence proves that Taposiris Magna was a prestigious burial ground for the elite during Cleopatra's time. It shows that this was a place where important people expected to be laid to rest, making it a perfectly plausible location for the Queen herself. Perhaps the most dramatic discovery of all has been made not on land, but beneath the sea. Using advanced sonar technology, researchers have identified a massive submerged port near the temple complex. This sunken harbour, with its collapsed stone buildings and scattered artifacts, reveals that Taposiris Magna was not an isolated temple, but a bustling economic and religious hub connected to the wider Mediterranean world. This find completely changes our understanding of the site's importance and suggests a complex network that could have been used to facilitate the construction of a secret royal tomb. This incredible journey of discovery is being led by one woman whose determination is as monumental as the structures she is uncovering. Dr. Kathleen Martinez, an archaeologist from the Dominican Republic, has dedicated nearly 2 decades of her life to a single, unwavering mission: finding Cleopatra's tomb. Originally a criminal lawyer, she brought a fresh perspective and a forensic investigator's mind to this age-old historical cold case. She meticulously reviewed the ancient texts and concluded that for centuries everyone had been looking in the wrong place. Her conviction led her to Taposiris Magna. For years, Dr. Martinez faced skepticism from the established archaeological community. Many considered her theory a long shot, a departure from the accepted wisdom that the tomb was in Alexandria. Securing funding and permission to excavate was a monumental challenge in itself. Yet she persevered, driven by a passion that refused to be extinguished. She sold her belongings and poured her own resources into the project, fueled by the belief that she was on the brink of rewriting history. Her unshakable dedication has been the driving force behind every shovel of dirt turned and every artifact found. Her background as a lawyer gave her a unique advantage. She approached the mystery not just as an archaeologist, but as an investigator building a case. She analysed Cleopatra's character, her strategic mind, and her religious devotion. She theorized that the Queen would have planned her burial with the same cunning she applied to her political life, choosing a location that was both sacred and secure. This methodical, evidence-based approach is what led her to pinpoint Taposiris Magna from among dozens of other potential sites, and her persistence is what has kept the search alive against all odds. Today, Dr. Martinez is no longer an outlier. She is a trailblazer. Her series of stunning discoveries has slowly turned skeptics into believers. She has spent countless hours under the hot Egyptian sun, supervising the dig, and has now taken her search into the depths of the Mediterranean to explore the sunken port. For her, this quest is deeply personal. She feels a connection to Cleopatra, another powerful woman who defied expectations. She is convinced that she is close, that the next major discovery is just around the corner, and that she will be the one to finally reveal Cleopatra's final secret to the world. The recent discoveries at Taposiris Magna are not just a collection of fascinating finds, they are pieces of an intricate puzzle that are beginning to fit together. The massive tunnel running beneath the temple, the prestigious gold leaf mummies in the necropolis, and the coins bearing Cleopatra's image all build a compelling circumstantial case. Each discovery on its own is significant, but together they paint a picture of a site that was deeply intertwined with the life and likely the death of Egypt's last queen. The evidence is mounting, pointing overwhelmingly in one direction. The discovery of the sunken port is the keystone that connects all the other pieces. It elevates Tapasaris Magna from a remote temple to a major centre of activity, one with the infrastructure and importance befitting a royal burial. It provides a logical explanation for how the vast amounts of materials and manpower needed for a grand mausoleum could have been transported secretly. The tunnel, once a mysterious feature, now seems to have a clear purpose. It may have been a subterranean route connecting the temple directly to the harbour, allowing for a burial procession to take place hidden from Roman eyes. Modern technology has been the key to unlocking these ancient secrets. Dr. Martinez and her team have employed ground-penetrating radar to scan for hidden chambers and cavities beneath the temple floor. This technology allows them to see underground without disturbing the site, guiding their excavations with incredible precision. In the water, advanced sonar mapping has been used to chart the entire submerged landscape of the ancient port, revealing structures that have been hidden for 2 millennia. This fusion of old-fashioned archaeology with cutting-edge science is what has made this breakthrough possible. All of this evidence powerfully supports the theory that Cleopatra planned her final resting place with meticulous care. She chose a site dedicated to Isis, the goddess she embodied, ensuring her divine protection in the afterlife. She may have used a network of tunnels and a bustling port to construct her tomb in secret, outsmarting her enemies one last time. We are no longer just searching for a tomb, we are uncovering the final brilliant strategy of a legendary queen. The puzzle is not yet complete, but for the first time in centuries, the image is becoming clear. The search for Cleopatra's tomb has now entered its most thrilling phase. The discovery of the submerged port has expanded the search area dramatically, opening up a new frontier for exploration beneath the waves. The immediate next steps will involve an intensive underwater excavation. Divers and marine archaeologists will meticulously map and explore the sunken ruins, looking for any structures that might be tombs or entrances to hidden passages. They will be searching for inscriptions, unique architectural features, or anything that points towards a royal burial in this underwater necropolis. Simultaneously, the work on land will continue with renewed vigor and focus. Dr. Martinez and her team will use the knowledge gained from the underwater findings to guide their excavations within the temple complex. The ground-penetrating radar scans will continue, focusing on areas where the tunnel and other subterranean structures might lead. The team will be looking for sealed-off chambers or hidden doorways along the length of the Great Tunnel. It is a dual-front investigation, both on land and at sea, doubling the chances of a breakthrough. The world is watching with bated breath. The story of the search will be chronicled in a new documentary, allowing the public to follow along with every new discovery and setback. This global attention brings both pressure and support, highlighting the immense historical significance of the work being done. Dr. Martinez is clear that while the recent finds are monumental, the final goal has not yet been reached. She stresses that patience and methodical work are still required. Finding the tomb is not a matter of if, but when. and every day brings them one step closer. What would finding the tomb mean for history? It would be the archaeological discovery of a lifetime, perhaps the most important since Tutankhamun's. It could give us the remains of Cleopatra and Mark Antony, allowing us to learn about their health, their lives, and their deaths. The tomb would surely contain priceless artifacts, scrolls, and art that could rewrite what we know about this pivotal moment in history. The search at Taposiris Magna is more than an adventure. It is a quest for knowledge that promises to bring the legendary Queen of the Nile back to life. The final chapter is yet to be written.